Hello and welcome back to Pick and Play. It's Fun 4 with the Kaiserreich mod. We are back at the Dominion of Canada. So then, we are back. This is likely going to be the episode where the CSA collapses, but you know, who knows. I'm hoping roughly, I don't think that the capture of Minneapolis would be that important that it would cause a total collapse. It could, it might be, but I don't think it will. I think St. Louis is just as important. I think it's possible that some of these areas like Kentucky, assuming, yeah, these are core states. This is a core state, that's a core state. I think Virginia was a core state as well. Okay. A lot of these were core states after they were taken over, I guess. Works for me. Just trying to break through the lines in as many places as possible. What are you? Maybe the Filipino. Try to get to Minneapolis. They're filling the lines just as fast as we can close them. In general, I think I could put it pretty high up on the list of things that are going to get done is the end of the CSA. I think that's a fair assessment. Although exactly how or why, not entirely sure yet. The dash we're trying to make to Minneapolis, yeah, probably not. You try to go around Pierre. You, good. Closed, then go that way. To make sure Pierre stays closed. You go this general direction. Send this guy this way. Yep, yeah, buddy. Two divisions over here in Pierre then. Well, you can keep going to try and break through, I guess. You, yeah, this way, it's important. You, keep them on the back foot. You, don't worry about our line there. Any and all divisions should join straight in here. Although it looks like they're about to retake Washington from the 3rd Garde Patriotique. Unfortunate. Doesn't seem like we're going to be able to break through. You can probably just hold all your advances. Doesn't seem like your guys are actually breaking through anyway. Got the Our Finest Hour event. You attack that general direction. You just wait for them to fall. You've been on a mad dash. You're trying to get to Minneapolis to try and meet up with the 2nd modernized division of the Philippine Army. It looks like you've been stopped. Just make sure you don't get cut off and you'll be fine. One of you, go over that direction. Odie Wingate has fallen ill. King Messiah has joined the Co-Prosperity Sphere. It's a very good name, ain't it? I've always really enjoyed that name. The Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. Burma has joined it as well. There we go. Collapse of the American syndicates. It appears that the Senate, maybe? I guess it was enough to just take Minneapolis. But it appears that the syndicate government is at the last legs in the American Civil War. Already, most of his land has been swallowed up by the New England and other American factions. It seems it was left to nothing but remains that its army, now demoralized and suffering from mass desertions, are holding out against all hope that the miracle might save them. Some syndicate leaders have already met with New Englander generals to negotiate terms for the inevitable complete surrender. Interesting, but they haven't seemed to have done it yet, so let it go for a bit longer until they actually do surrender. Because until they actually surrender, we can't just assume that they are surrendered. Although, what happened here? You took it over, now you're the owner and controller of that? Okay. But since there we go, 22,000 Springfield model rifles. Now that is what I like to see. Common Syndicate of America have capitulated. The American Union States taken all the way up to Iowa. Well, yeah, we had taken Minneapolis. We had taken Pierre. It's American player-led peace deal mod, by the way. Now we had taken Raleigh. Oh, hey, look at that. They took Washington. That I'm not going to accept. I think Here's what we'll do. Liberate the United States. No, here's what we'll do. We'll take Indiana. And we will... To American Union State, they can have Virginia. They can have Kentucky. They can have that line. Although we will have Indiana. Let's see. Is the rest okay? Maybe they can have Virginia if we take Kentucky, so we have like a little block section here for ourselves. And I want New England to take over the coast in there. And I'm going to give Washington to New England using the other mod that I'm using. And then Delmarva, yeah. Oh, not enough points. Not enough points. Which part? Is it the part where I give Virginia over to American Union States? It probably is. Let's wait until I have enough points. American Union State, yeah, I'm thinking giving them Virginia because they're basically the South. And then giving New England, although it's a little bit silly, giving them Delaware. Along New England. Maybe take West Virginia for ourselves, but, you know, once they have Washington, it really makes it come together. Although, done. Very specifically. Control-Shift-H. State transfer tool. Let's look at some possibilities, because I want this to go to you. But now, if I went Virginia to you, that at the very least creates this nice line here. It creates about as good of a line we can get here against... What is this? Is that the Shenandoah? It's a tributary of the Mississippi. I don't think that's the Shenandoah. I think the Shenandoah is like... You know what? I actually don't know which one the Shenandoah is. I know this is the Potomac. Looking at it again from up here. I do not like that South Dakota and Iowa don't match. This gives a pretty good canvas for American Union State and Pacific States of America to work out their differences. It gives a nice dividing line between New England territory and the Rust Belt, which is controlled by me, versus what is controlled by New England. And then American Union State can take all their stuff. I think this is okay. Now you, occupied state, as it should be. You, occupied state, That's your core state. Yeah, so they keep their cores. Kentucky is only a claim, so they took their cores back. They also took over Missouri up through Iowa, which, fair enough. As you can see, none of our troops had actually entered, so they took over most of the states that we had not entered. Now, if... Let's use that state transfer tool. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Does look decent. Go with Iowa. It's really not a big state in terms of what I want. It's in terms of how I want it to look. Because it's definitely not bad. It's definitely not bad at all. This was a core state of the Combined Syndicate, so it makes sense. Basically, we took over most of the Syndicate lands, and I think it makes sense for the American Union State to not take over too much. You know, they take over Missouri, they take over Kansas, Nebraska in this peace deal. And Pacific States, they get nothing. They only take what had been a part of the Americans. So yeah, I think we take over the core of the CSA. That makes sense, because we had been fighting specifically to do that, to take over the CSA. So that makes sense thematically. The fact that we're not able to take over Carolina is annoying because we were fighting there, but hey, you know, you win some, you lose some. We made a peace deal that includes with the American Union State. I think this is an acceptable situation. Now then, let's divvy up the troops. Get all of these troops. Hello. Oh no, not you. Bam. Go to Richmond. Into the armies. Split up. And gets the French troops back home. We have no real desire to have our Frenchmen here. In general, I think they'll just return. So you go ahead and take up the line there with your army. You with your army. I mean, your army is entirely made up of other troops, so I just want you to get back and then disband. You do that. This. I'm pushing the wrong button or something. Bam, bam. All of these troops, the other troops, send them home. Let's just go on a slow speed for right now. Just to get a little bit of forward momentum as we also get rid of all this. You are both... Yeah, you're French divisions, so just give them back. You, the Halifax garrison. All garrison units should return. Let's see, here. Fate of America. Ooh. Fate of America. With the Civil War over, we now find ourselves left to figure out what we're going to do with the American territory. We can return it to the Pacific States of America, return it to the American Union State, give it to New England, or continue the military occupation. Severely hurts our stability, severely hurts our political power for a long time, but we also walk away with how many factories here? Because you... Oh, look at all those factories. If only we would have something like... I can always return them to whoever I like using the player-led peace deal mod. I think we should continue the military occupation. New England can have the coast. They can have the all-important Washington. And is that something you need for like a tech tree anywhere in here? Behind enemy lines, urban combat. Because the American Civil War is not over. Quid pro quo can't be done. Yeah, it's too funny to not do. You, Night Watchman, expeditionary forces from French Republic, Australasia, Philippines, and Portugal. Makes sense. I want them all to return home. You guys just get back up here. Need to reorganize all the armies. You are entirely my troops, though. York Volunteers, rejoin that force. Vancouver Garrison, return. RCMP, return. Then you send these troops back into the... Which one is the real army? This army is not the real army. I'm just waiting for them to get over here. You are a real army. You... I could just let them be given back by themselves, but, you know, we might as well be polite. Units cannot be disbanded. Nani? Okay. Or some of them... Okay. Maybe some of them are troops that can't be disbanded. As for this, we could do investments in New England, but they just got a big bonus. We could do investments in Australasian Confederation. We could do Belgium, Hawaii, Portugal, Philippines. How about Portugal? Portugal is going to be an important place for our naval base. Also in here, hold all navies, hold all navies. Iceland expands their fishing zone. Iceland had recently claimed large swaths of the North Atlantic as their rightful fishing grounds. This is bound to draw the eye of the syndicalists in Britain, perhaps cause an occasion to gain support in Iceland, eventually the staging ground. Well, Iceland really isn't that important as a staging ground. And also, they're basically worthless as anything except a port. So, don't risk it. I am considerably more concerned with Belgium. Over here, this entire army. You guys just get in there already. And we can't invest anything right now. We've spent it all. Just get back in there so I can go select all, and then some cannot be disbanded. Let's disband the ones that we can disband. I cannot disband the Regiment Regulo. Yeah, that's the only division we cannot disband. Thanks for sending me a division that I cannot disband on my own. Thanks, bud. Thanks there, bud. Everything here is fine so far. Can't disband. Cannot disband the second modernized. I guess the modernized infantry divisions are not something we can touch. Let's put you guys into one army. You two should probably be increased. You there. Yeah. I like these borders. You there. I got an idea for you. Mostly in here, occupied territories. Now, if I went combined syndicalists here, or like show non-resisting countries, which is America. Oh, America isn't even resisting? But which are these? You're non-resistant at the moment? You're starting to. Not sure if I can trust it. So what can I say about occupied territories? If I switch over to the armored, no, the RCA, yeah, RCAP. If I make that your standard civilian oversight, I could do local autonomy, but no. Local police force, secret polices, we don't technically have one. How about martial law to absolutely make sure that they are not rebelling for a hot minute? Daily local compliance gain. What is our local compliance gain right now? We could go for a military governor to begin with. I think that makes the most sense thematically, which is my favorite thing to do in this game. We are real. Times are changing. You want your expeditions back? Well, that's what happens when you send me troops that I cannot disband. Radio interception group is done. Good, 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 good. King address gives us some more support when we don't need it. We already won the war. Modernized infantry. You have some of the. You have the not that great divisions. That's fair. You, I don't know. Maybe the line there just to make sure. We don't have to worry about America and Pacific States of America coming after me at some point. I think that is definitely a possibility. That is definitely on the table. Let's send all these guys back. Quebec. Halifax. York. Toronto. Vancouver. Vancouver Guards. Back to Vancouver. Winnipeg. Garrison. You back to Winnipeg, where you belong, because reasons. You to Regina. You to Calgary. Although, honestly, RCMP out here. How about one to Chicago, one to Detroit, and then one to, I don't know, where's an important place? Columbus? Cleveland? How about one to Cleveland? One to Cleveland sounds good to me. Then past that, troops over here, they're still kicking around. What are we doing when it comes to, we have 22,000, is that 22,000 ahead of time or something? That can be used. Only 38,000 manpower, probably a lot of manpower is currently going. We need 3,000 light tanks, which makes me think that I should do something here. Armored brigades, armored division, keep the name please, duplicate, win away anyway. Mediums, medium, medium. Then over here, motorize, motorize, motorize. You all switch to mediums. And then what am I thinking for some artillery? Artillery. Get rid of a tank. Get rid of a tank. A decent swath here. Up 94 soft attack. We get up 61 breakthrough. Greater defense. Organization's down, but organization doesn't matter as much for an attacking unit. Suppression is up. Doesn't matter. Weight is up. Makes sense. We did just increase the number of troops. Piercing. What can I do here? We can get a signal company for initiative. Let's see. A maintenance company for equipment capture and HP and reliability. Now, do I want that, or do I want a logistics company, which is supply usage and supplies? I'm gonna say I probably want the logistics instead of, or maybe not. Maybe keep the maintenance company, but then instead of an engineer is breakthrough, soft attack, just a bunch of small things, but it's mostly useful. I could get rid of my support artillery and replace it with a logistics company. It does decrease the number of soft attack we're doing, but that soft attack that comes from actually using, artillery. So instead of a free artillery, we have logistics to make it more useful. Let's call that an armored division. 50 points. Save that. You dare. The 18th and 16th armored. I have a plan. First off, become an armored division. And then what happens if I consolidate at this point? Like, honestly, what happens? We keep the manpower, medium tanks are unresolved, motorized moved over, pool, mostly infantry equipment, manpower, and 50 motorized. We need more towed artillery and support equipment. Yeah. Well, at the very least, it saves on the number of medium tanks I'll need to produce immediately, because I think we only have, like... we need 400 medium tanks. That does not help. How many medium tanks do we actually have? Logistics. Medium tanks. We have 61 units, so yes. Condensing down my tank divisions is useful at the moment since we actually need to build the tanks. So make that up, please. Down through here, we got the views starting to come in. Honestly, a bit of a better spread at the moment. We don't necessarily need a full 5 on 1. I'm not using anti-tank or armored cars, so that doesn't really matter. You now need tungsten. You unnecessary. Shipments there. Aluminum is fine. You increase. Although let's look for subject. Nope. Therefore, increase that. Bring this down to a more normal 8. Give us some more factories to use. Then the Royal Canadians. Yes. We have our infantry division. You only have engineer and support artillery. I want the standard infantry division to also include a cavalry detachment and a maintenance company. And because there's going to be so many of you, and we have limited manpower in general, a field hospital. Then, this infantry division is more of a light infantry division, so I can call it out as such. Light infantry for side battle areas and areas that don't have very good supply. Lush Brigade. This garrison division is not even being used. Militia detachment, you're fine. If anything, I can use you as a manpower. You in the armored division, not really necessary, but I won't necessarily get rid of you. You, I could make you... What happens if I make an armored recon out of you? Oh, so at the moment I am using a fast boy, motorized recon. If I go armored recon, it actually decreases defense, increases fuel usage, and decreases reconnaissance, but it slightly, like ever so slightly, gives us 25 breakthrough, and that's about it. So it's basically a breakthrough buff. It adds literally just 1 soft attack. Not interested. Nice fast boy is all I need. Now, because of this, we're going to have very high supply for support equipment and rams. Ram ranch and also motorized. As for our construction, this is now lower on the priority list. Still building up these bad boys is all the rage. We have no political power to use, so that's not going to happen. And then as for the Air Force, this is the first episode of the new week. I think this is the first episode of the new week. Let us rearrange everything right there so that we can get our air forces organized. Perhaps I can start putting him into 100 spot division, 100 spot instead of 20. Strategic bombers, flying fortress. I think one thing I could possibly do is see what we have here for a naval bomber. Only 1. That makes sense. The Blenheims is 4, which is pretty good. 2 on strategic bombing. All that's pretty good. Leaving 1 light tank production is good for defense. This sad little boy down here, not going to get any use out of it. I think that's all fine. Thanks for watching. Today's episode was literally just ending the war, which didn't take a lot of time. Deciding how to finish it and then the aftermath. So with that, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.